Welcome back to the Obsessive Gardener. This is a quick garden update. It's October 18th, 2020. This is my Sugar Rush Peach. It did pretty good this year. Pumped out a lot of pods, and I've been freezing them. I'm going to mix them with some other pods, some super hots and stuff, and make a hot sauce out of it. This is a chocolate Umarock. This thing pumped out quite a bit of peppers too. Only problem is, because of our cold weather here near the Pacific Ocean, it does these little tiny pods like that. This one is okay size. It's small, but it's one of the better phenos I've had on this plant all year. So I hope it has some seeds in there, because I am running low on those, and I love chocolate Umarocks. And here is the biggest pepper plant that I grew this year. Also the biggest disappointment. Although it is about 4.5 feet tall or so, maybe even 5 foot, it really didn't do much of anything. I think I saw a total of 3 flowers on it all year. And there's a pod, the only pod, but there is a flower right there, out of focus. So it's probably too late for that one. And this one just made it just in time. It won't freeze here till early spring, but everything kind of dies down mid-November. So that is a white peach crossed with a Moruga scorpion. And it's a Tom's Bomb. It's finishing out. There's a pod ripening up. Got quite a few pods off that this year. Drying them out, making a powder. And this is one of my Husky red cherry tomatoes. This one did really, really good. And there's a ripe tomato. Last year I was harvesting off these things till Christmas Day. So I hope it is like that this year. This is a red Scotch bonnet that did horrible. Pumped out maybe 5 teeny tiny pods all year. Once again, our weather here, June, July, August, is very, very cold and foggy. That is a lemon drop that did nothing. Okay, on to some peppers that did a little bit of something. This is a supposed King Star Lemon Starburst. It's definitely yellow, but the pheno looks far from a Lemon Starburst. And I thought maybe it was just this one that was off, but if you look at some of these other ones that are coming in, they really don't look like Lemon Starburst too much. I got seeds, Starburst seeds, from 2 different sources. I don't know which one this one was from. I'm sure they were all open pollinated though, which is fine. But hey, they're peppers, and I'm kind of curious to see how they are going to taste. This is a chocolate Moruga cross with a yellow Reaper. I did a review on these, and they are really, really hot. Probably the hottest pepper I ate this year. And yeah, it's a pretty good pheno right there. They've been pretty small on that too, just like this brain strain right here. Even though these brain strains are teeny tiny, they've been popping off all year, so all summer pretty much. It's kind of like the second round it's doing right now. So I am thankful for that. I'm thankful that even though they're small, they're there. So that's awesome. Be throwing those in a hot sauce for sure with those Sugar Rush peaches. And that should be a nice tasting hot pepper. This is a Batman's Tangerine Cream, and I think this one's ripe. I've never grown these before. Yeah, I think that one's ripe, and I think there's another ripe one in the middle there. Only think they're ripe because the backside that doesn't face the sun, which was green a couple days ago, is now this creamy white color. And almost looks like they have like a little slight tint of orange to them. This has been grown all year in this double cup right here. So there's the roots. I think they're The roots, they look worse than I think they really are. I think that's from just the dirt kind of draining through onto the roots. They look kind of brown. But here's another Batman variety. This is a Batman's Hell's Bells. And of course they're not very big either. But that's probably the best pheno I've seen all year. It's very small, but maybe it'll have a seed or two in there. I have another one I'll show you here in a second that I moved in my little indoor grow. Here it is. I thought maybe that would make a big difference. I mean, it did start throwing off pods, but they're still not that big. So there's one interesting looking pheno right there. Biggest one on this plant so far. There's another one over here. Very interesting shape on this one. And yeah, so those are Batman's Hell's Bells. I'll be reviewing one of those shortly. This is a Tabasco pepper that did nothing. I have like 4 or 5 of these plants. This one I took inside, and as soon as I did, it started throwing off some peppers. So that's awesome. I'm gonna get to do those. And there's some Tom's Bombs drying out, and some Fresno peppers seeds. Okay, this is a ghostly jalapeno. Once again, teeny tiny pods. Most of the peppers looked about like that one right there. I tried a couple. They are pretty hot. This is probably, if I can focus on it, is probably the best pheno of this year. It's about the size of that chocolate Umarock I showed you earlier. Hopefully it'll have a couple seeds in there that I can save for next year. Yeah, so they're not very big, but it's been putting off pods nonetheless. Better some than none, right? Alright, and here we are looking at a mystery pepper. It's either a Reaper or a Gorpion, because those two I lost labels to, a few of them. It's really hard to tell. Like this one right here really looks like a Reaper. I mean, I would say it looks like a Reaper if I can focus on it. It's got a cool little stinger that kind of shoots off to the side. That looks Reaperish to me. But then you look at some of these other phenos and they look kind of elongated. Let's look at a couple over here real quick. Elongated, just weird. Just phenos are kind of all over the place. But see, that looks more Gorpion, I would think, than Reaper, and this one too. But I'm not sure. But either way, I'm gonna eat them. And I have another one that I think it may be the same plant that's out in my field. I'll show you that one in a minute. Here's a long, thin cayenne. They are thin, but not so long. But nonetheless, it is pushing out some pods. So that's cool. And yeah, there's another one over there. Looks pretty good. I'll be picking these off pretty soon. I picked a few already and dried them out. Okay, so Weary. I did a review on this earlier in the year. These have been pretty consistently pushing out these cool little red pods they have on them. Little cherry looking pods. And it's a Yucatan white habanero. I have 2 in this bed and they did horrible, but there's a fruit right there. They're teeny tiny plants. This one I don't think produced anything all year. And this is some type of Tobago cross. My wife got me these seeds off of Pepper Lovers Community, so I'm not sure what they're crossed with. I just know it's a Tobago cross. That's a pretty cool looking shape right there. And that's my finger off to the left upper screen there. And some more Tobago peppers in there. So I don't know if they're going to turn red or if they're just going to be that orange color. Poinsettia peppers. I've grown these for a few years. I like them. They're fun to just pick off the plant and eat. Here's another one back here. And that one's getting ripe. I'm going to pick that one off. It looks like it's starting to dry up on the plant. I'm going to get that off of there. yeah, these are fun to just kind of pick and just kind of munch on. They're pretty hot for a little pepper, you know. They're fun to just give to people and be like, here, you want a pepper? And watch their mouths burn. Okay, so we got some, I think this is called a pretty purple pepper. I got these in a variety pack from like Walmart. And so it just has a list of what's in there, supposedly what's in there. I don't really believe them. And one of the things is pretty purple, and there's also purple cayenne, which I guess maybe this is a purple cayenne. So yeah, we got a few right there. I'm waiting for them to turn red. And this is another, I guess, pretty purple. It's upright instead of downward facing. And there's another purple one over here in the bed. And these are a little bit fatter. I don't know if these are cayennes or what. They really don't look like it. But they're pretty cool looking. And this is a cowhorn pepper. And I got this plant at like Walmart, I think. And these are pretty cool looking. I mean, for kind of a plant that looks kind of crappy, it has quite a few pods hanging on it. And you may be thinking, wow, those are pretty good size. And they are. The only thing is a cowhorn pepper is supposed to be a lot bigger than that. They're supposed to literally be the size of a cow's horn. They're huge. But I'm happy with what I got. I'm glad I got something. There's one starting to kind of turn ripe. So that's pretty cool, I thought. I've never tried one of those. And this was out of that variety pack. Couldn't tell you what it is. It really, to me, doesn't match anything that's in the description on the back of the variety pack. Maybe it's a firecracker pepper, but I'm not sure. I really couldn't say, but it looks cool. So, yeah. And here's another one from that pack. These things are weird looking. Funny looking shapes on these ones. These are plants, I mean, they didn't do very well, but I saw little pods on them, so I just kept on watering them and kept them alive. He has a little cousin over here. See, there's another one that looks kind of crazy shaped. The one single pod on this little itty bitty plant that I never up potted. And here's the other plant I told you about that I thought maybe is a Gorpion, maybe it's a Reaper. This one I'm more sold that it is a Gorpion. Barry Gill sent me some seeds, and there were Gorpions, and I think this one's gotta be. It just doesn't look like a Reaper to me. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but between the two, I think it's gotta be a Gorpion. There's a pretty cool pheno over here. It's got a nice kind of tail on it. That's a cool looking one. I hope that one has some seeds in it. I'll save them. And there was one pod that like really, no, it's not this one. I have another one that really says, just screams Gorpion to me. And I think it's this one. Yeah, I mean, come on. That's a Gorpion, right? Definitely not a Reaper, I don't think. Anyways, oh well, it's gonna be, I'm gonna save the seeds. Okay, so inside my kitchen, I got a little crack key hydroponic little setup here. This is the Tom's Bomb F2. It's starting to get little buds on it, so that's exciting to see. The buds aren't purple looking like the other ones were, the F1s, so that's kind of interesting. And well, this is a cool one right here. This is a Ahi Cherapita crossed with a Carolina Reaper. Pod was sent to me, the F1 pod was sent to me by Andrew Kyleon, who created the pepper. And so that's the F2 right there. Back here is another cool pepper that's recovering from some insect damage. This is a Taj Mahal Pink Minion. I got these seeds from Beam Me Up Mr. Scott on YouTube. Mr. Chumley. And he's a cool dude. Check him out. And he also sent me this one too. The seeds for this one is a 7-pot white. So he won seeds on one of my giveaways, and he sent me seeds too. So it's like a win-win. So that's another Taj Mahal pink minion right here. So yeah, check out Beam Me Up, Mr. Scott. I think I said that right. If I didn't, I'll correct myself